Hello, I'm happy to welcome you to my website. Today you will watch your first lesson. It was recorded in the earlier stages and includes various techniques for creating hairstyles. It is not just about braiding, but also about forming elements. I hope this lesson will be very useful and interesting for you, and you will be able to easily create your first hairstyle. Let's get started. Hello dear friends, today we will create a hairstyle based on braiding elements. It will be great if you learn how to do it and use this knowledge. Traditionally, I will start with review of tools and styling products. Today we will need a regular massage comb. Its only task is to comb the hair. The comb not horizontally but vertically in the direction of hair growth. This makes it easier to comb out tangled moments. The next comb is tail comb, and here I want to explain in more detail because with this comb we perform many of operations. Firstly, it should be carbon, not plastic. You can ask why? Because carbon is more durable material. It is desirable that there is a rounded end for easier of work, and carbon does not create static electricity on the hair. The hot tools we will need today a crimper, and I took here a curling iron with a wide rod. We only need it to curl the ends and give them a direction. From styling products, we will use wax spray. I would like to tell you more about it. We need it to give the hair plasticity, pick up small hairs, and it gives the opportunity to stretch the elements. Fixation, I will use a dry medium hot hairspray. Since we have a gathered hairstyle, there is no need to use super strong hairspray. A few words about applying the hairspray. We have two options. This is a cloud application and liner. Both methods of application assume that you hold your hand far enough from the hair, at a distance of 15-20 centimeters. Cloud application gives great durability, and it's created using intermittent movements. It is not correct to apply the hairspray with a strong stream, so you will get a wet and dirty effect here. The next accessory we need is bobby pins with round ends. The wave is needed for durability, and the round ends are to avoid injuring the scalp. We open bobby pins through the finger, and here remember never to open the bobby pins with your teeth and attach it to the head with wave. The wave will hold the bobby pins in the desirable position and prevent it from slipping. The next accessory we needed in our work is a rubber band and two bobby pins. With their help, we will form a ponytail. Why do we use this particular design? Because we wrap the hair around this rubber band without twisting it. And the next point is that the rubber band has a rough surface and does not slip off. Let me show you how I do this. I don't open the bobby pins. I insert it into the center of the tail with wave towards the head, as we have already discussed with you, and I make sure to clamp this bobby pin. If there is no pressure here, otherwise when you start wrapping, your fastening will slip out. Be sure to take the invisible hairpin with your finger. We clamp it, then we pull the elastic band. The tension is also important, otherwise we will be no tight tail in the future. And now we continue to wrap with our free hand. Yes, after the elastic band ends, we insert the second bobby pin. It is better to meet each other, but if there is not enough length, then there the elastic band ends. To set the volume at the root in the parietal and temporal zones, I used a crimper. We never crimp the first line. Why? Because this is the first thing our gaze meets when we look at the client, or the client or model looks at themselves in the mirror, and we do not need a pattern from the crimper here. Therefore, we remove the first line, then I take a thin strand and will work with it. Since I need volume only at roots, I go up 1 or 2 centimeters. If you are a beginner and are afraid of burning the client, then do it with quick movements. Put the crimper, remove it, put it and remove it. I take the next strand and repeat my action, and moving along the entire parietal zone and slightly moving to the upper occipital zone. If you are not yet oriented in zones, you can watch the lesson on zoning. We move to the temple area. At the beginning, I will pull the strand upwards at the angle of 90 degrees, then parallel to the floor. We do not crimp the very last strand in the same way as we did in the crown area. We are still working on preparing the hair for the hairstyle, and now we will work on the ends. We will curl them. Why do we do this? There are different types of haircuts, and it's happened that the level of the ends is different. I want them to all look in the same direction and be flexible in work. So I do a slight curls of the ends. I open it inward, clamp and pass this strand and curl it inward. This will be enough for high quality and clean work. In this hairstyle, we will not have a classic division. We will divide all the hair into equal zones. In the lower one, we will form a tail, and with the upper one, we will work with braid. But always approach the solution of the issue individually. If the density in the upper part is not enough, then add more hair here. I make the division with an arch in the form, and it looks like a sad smile. I put the top hair in a clip, and now I will create a tail, as I have already shown you earlier with help of 2 bobby pins and elastic band. I take our construction without opening the bobby pin. I insert it into the center of the tail and begin to wrap our tail. Do not forget to hold the bobby pin inside of the center with your fingers so that it does not slip out. Make a couple turns, and after that we leave the second invisible hairpin in the place where our elastic band ended. Before we start braiding, I want to highlight the loose strand near the face. We will frame the face in the future and add romance to our hairstyle. Let's get to work. We need to highlight the central part. It will be the largest part, and the side ones will be smaller in volume. We focus on the forehead dips or highest point of the eyebrow. We make a zigzag parting towards the tail on the one side and the another one. The shape of the highlighted part should resemble a triangle. I do the same thing from the opposite side. I put the tail from the comb on the model's head and, like with the pencil, draw triangles in the direction of the tail. We have selected the central zone. Be sure to check the symmetry through the mirror, and I will put in the clip the hair that will not be involved in the work now. Before starting work, I will use spray wax because I want to add plasticity to the hair and make the braiding cleaner. The spray wax at the distance of 15 centimeters and comb it with a comb. Let's start braiding. I select the first strand. It should not be very large if you want the waving to be immediately visible. But for those who do not want the waving to be visible in the central part, you can take it wider. Now we will divide this strand into 3 equal parts. Look, you have 3 strands, 2 on the sides and 1 in the center. We will always take the strands that are on the sides and put them on the central strand. And take the central strand to the side where the side strand came from. Let's see. The side one put on the central one. Took it to the side, and now I take the other side, put it on the central one, and the central one took it to the side. Now we need to add the hair. With my thumb I press our braiding so that the hair does not fall apart. Now, first of all, I need to take the side strand and put it on the central one. After that, I add hair. I select the hair diagonally and select all the hair to our braid all these hairs. I will put it to that strand in the center, which has already led. I repeat the same thing on the opposite side. First, I put the side strand in the center. Now, I select the hair diagonally to the braid. And now, I bring all this hair and combine it with the central strand, which I previously brought to the side. I have already braided part of the braid, and now we will pull out the strand and make them more voluminous. I will explain why this needs to be done now and not at the end, because the braiding is dense. And if you braid the entire braid, it will be difficult to pull out the strand strongly to the level that we would like to see. I'll start with last strand. I very carefully put my finger in the middle, squeeze the strand and start stretch to the side. I take the next strand, put my fingers in the middle and stretch the strand to the side. It's important to avoid empty spaces here, so take your time and carefully stretch the strand. I stretch the initial strand just a little bit. It should be the smallest in terms of the stretched volume. All the same, I will now do the opposite side. You should pull the hair flat. Feel the strand between your fingers and gently pull it to the side. The crimper that we did earlier help us a lot, and the hair is pulled out easier. Plus, the spray wax gives us plasticity. All together gives a good combination. Let's look at the braid from above and continue. I put the side strand in the center, braid the hair to it and add it diagonally. And I move to the other side. Your task, attention here, do not raise your hands high. If you raise your hands, you will get unwanted lift. Your task is move flat on the head and with the braiding lower your hands. With the help of weaving, we move towards the tail, and with the help of stretching the strands, we cover the three surfaces, so that in the future we do not have difficulties with bringing the side strands. We have braided to the end, and now I will pull out the last strand. You can also go back to previous ones and stretch them a little too. For our convenience and to free our hands before fixing, I will take a French pin and put it at the base of our braid. It will be temporary fixation, and you can calmly work with the strands, freeing your hands. I start fixing from the lower strands. I put my hand at a distance of 10-15 centimeters from the strand and start making intermittent movements. Look, it is important not to press the hair hard here. Do these slight, light movements, gluing small hairs to each other. I lift the strand a little with my finger and try to apply the hairspray from the inside, so that it holds on both sides, both from the outside and from inside, and gradually moves up. I do the same on the opposite side. I lift the strand a little with my finger and apply the hairspray from below and above. Don't forget that the distance between the strand and the hairspray should be at least 10-15 centimeters. We have finished fixing the strands, and now we need to fix the braid with bobby pins. I take an bobby pin, opening it with my finger. The wave should go to the head, and since I have a fairly dense in braid here and one bobby pins is not enough for me, I will first put one bobby pin, and now I take the second one and also put in the part that is not yet fixed. The bobby pins can be located crosswise, and the fact that they are now visible should not bother you, because in this case we will have a bun here. Now let's start working with the side zones, and first of all I need to comb all the hair, because they could get hairspray on them and the hair could stick to each other. The next step is to take a spray wax and apply it to the strand, because I need to get flexible hair for easy work. The third step is to do a light root combing, so that the hair has a base on which they are located. Comb from the inside. This is 1 or 2 movements, then comb the entire strand onto the palm, and there the most important thing is to use your hand to set the direction of the strand. You set the movement of the future strand with your hand. Let me show you again. I combed the entire strand onto my palm. Now with my hand I set the movement of the strand. It goes toward our tail. We will bring the strands crosswise. In this part we make a downward movement to cover the ears, and by pulling the strand we create a texture that will match with our pattern. And now the most important movement in this hairstyle is the hidden bobby pin. I take the whole strand, open the bobby pin, insert the bobby pin into the strand. The wave look at me. Now I pull the tail down and wrap the strand with the hair, that is a hide bobby pin behind the hair, and attach it to the head. When we have secured the side strand, we move on to fixing. I will again apply the hairspray with short intermittent movements and work on the first line to glue all the small hairs and create a single pattern in the process of working. You can pull out the texture a little more and do the same on the opposite side. Now I would like to talk about different options for styling the remaining hair. You can leave a ponytail and wrap it with twist or ribbon and it will look beautiful. But I want to suggest that today you learn how to do another braid and use it to style a bun. You know, braiding is very common in hairstyles and I want you to know how to do it. This braid is called a fishtail, but I think it looks more like a wheat ear. It doesn't matter how it goes, let's get started. I divide all the hair into 2 equal parts and will bring the side strands to the center. I separate a thin side strand on the right side and bring it to the center. Now I do the same on the left side and bring it to the center. And in this way I will braid all the hair. It is very important to take a thin strand. If you take thick strand, the pattern will look like a regular 3-row braid. So let's continue. Now we will pull out the strands. This should be done during the weaving process, since at the end it will be difficult to do because the weaving is very dense and you should not have any pulling out. If you want to get a fairly voluminous bun, then pull out more. Again, please focus on the length of the hair and the shape of the haircut. I put a silicone rubber band at the end of our braid and start to come to terms with how best to place our weaving. I take an invisible hairpin, open it through my finger and put it inside the weaving. Now I want to show you closer. Here we open the bobby pin, pick up some hair on our braid, pick up some hair that goes on our head, and I will fix the bobby pin from the inside. Now I will use bobby pins to secure the bun in all places. To pull out a little more and glue individual hairs, I will use spray wax, or you can use a liquid hairspray. We are on the final line, and now we need to style the strands near the face. To do this, I will take a curling iron and first warm up the strand at the base to set the volume. Beginners are always afraid to work near the face, and in order not to burn the client, I will show you this method. I do not open the clamp, I pull the strand up and warm up the base for volume. Now I will work with the rest of the hair. I can open the clamp again and iron the hair so that they're not fluffy, and then I do the curling from the face. You can curl the next strand towards your face, or you can curl it away from your face. This is your design. And then we will fix these strands with hairspray. So I'll start by combing the strand, and you can see there is a lot of static electricity here. So I'll use spray wax. It helps to avoid it and makes the hair more flexible. And after that I'll fix the strand with hairspray. With my thumb and index finger I take a strand at the base and pull it upwards at 90-degree angle. I fix it with hairspray from the outside. Yeah, and put a clip at the base. Then I unfold the strand, pull it towards the face. It should look like a half 8. Comb it again and fix it with hairspray. Here I could have taken a thicker strand, but we covered all the short hair, and I will working with this amount. With other strand we work according to the same scheme. Initially we need to apply spray wax, comb them and stretch, and then fix with hairspray. I do the same thing from the opposite side. I congratulate you, your hairstyle with braiding is ready. Let's look it from all sides. This option is suitable for any events and you can easily do it.